Welcome, everybody, to Prep Sports Plus, our third episode of Prep Sports Plus, but really our millionth episode because we've been doing sports talk for so long. You got Andy Krutzinger here in chair number 1. You got Hunter Moeller, chair number 2.
Like this.
And new producer Peter Camp, who has promised he will never move to Minnesota. And
my contract.
Yep. No.
Oh man.
You can't go to Minnesota. Luckily, bracket seasons. Peter, you don't know this yet, but our sports director or our sports producers have a history of doing well in our bracket challenge that Alex kind of ruined last year. He got like third, right? He didn't get any championships. Is it?
He was like top 2 for
yeah. So that'll be something to follow along with this season to see how that all shakes out. We are back.
Yes, we are.
We are back for good. It's fall sports season, Hunter.
Yep. Next week.
Next week. We're only days away from the first football game.
Technically this week, but
now, Hunter, it's been a while. Do you remember who powers Prep Sports Plus?
it'd be Fairway Food Stores.
That's right. Stop by Fairway, along with all of the lovely ads. Oh, Fairway's right there.
Yeah, look at that.
I love that I have the TV now.
No membership required.
That's right. You can walk right into Fairway.
Yep.
I do it all the time. Get some Lunchables, maybe. We get some Lunchables for the ride home. I've been getting way back into Lunchables and ramen noodles. I actually was scared for a little bit because I started to think that ramen noodles didn't taste good anymore, Hunter.
Ooh.
And
are you a chicken or a beef kind of guy, or are you like
both.
a shrimp?
But I don't do the weird mix. People like mix chicken, beef. It's just straight up like how it's supposed to be.
Oh, you don't add anything in?
No, I don't add anything
See,
in.
I like adding a little sriracha or
a little sriracha.
Something like that.
So I finally was hungry for it the other day, and it was like my childhood came back. Talk a little football. Now, football fans, people, you know what? People get pumped for this era of episodes.
Yes, they do.
Football, it's what pays the bills, keeps the lights on in here.
Yep. People love their football. They love their Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, you know, as evident from the Olympics, which we'll talk about later, USA's country number 1, obviously.
Yep.
If we didn't have football, what do you think we'd be? 15, 16?
Be tough.
Be tough.
Basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be the sport.
That's right. If you don't think that's true, then look up Google top 10 countries in 1740. Tell me if USA's on the list.
I mean, the baseball roster, I'm pretty sure it's like 90% is made up of, people from outside the U.S. or
like Dominican Republic?
Yeah, Dominican.
Shout out Sammy Sosa.
Japan's got some great players too.
They do. But we're number 1. And that's all because of football. And we got some football, not even, Hunter. We do have scrimmages.
Yeah.
But this Friday, we have a real game.
Yes.
Who we got going this Friday, Hunter?
We've got the Waco Warriors taking on Central City. Both teams last year were, Central City was pretty highly ranked. I remember they took on Winfield Mount Union, I believe, the same week. That was a fantastic game. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of looking forward to it being another pretty good contest to kick off the football season.
I remember that Waco started playing a lot of these week 0 games a few years ago. Mm-hmm. It's refreshing. It just gives you a little football, right? Even like the kids are going to school like on Thursday and Friday, I think. So it's barely even school season. And let me tell you, let's see what Central City did last year. They made it all the way to play Gladbrook Rhinebeck in the playoffs, where they lost. What round of the playoffs was that? The second round.
Yep.
Beat Key. They only lost 1 game last year, that Winfield Mount Union game.
Yep.
And they were the only team to challenge Winfield Mount Union in the regular season.
And Gladbrook Rhinebeck made it all the way to the semifinals. We watched a little bit of their first round game.
Oh, yeah, we did do that, didn't we? Yep. Then we went and got some food. Central City did lose
quite a bit.
Quite a bit. This. I actually did my Gazette preseason rankings. People, watch out for on the Gazette's website, possibly out in the papers today. The first football rankings will be there. I'm going to spoil and say that I did rank Waco in the top 6. Number 6. That's why I said top 6. So we'll see if the Warriors are ranked there. I think we got a chance for Winfield Mount Union to be still ranked despite losing a lot. Who else, Hunter? Who are we most excited about this year?
I mean, I think we have the potential to have some really good really good teams. Pekin could be really good.
Yes.
Remember, Pekin was playing pretty phenomenal last year. They're in that district with like kind of Lisbon, which Lisbon's always tough too.
Columbus.
Columbus is there. Who else is Maquoketa Valley? I think they're not in that.
Lisbon.
They just
and
always end up-
Columbus. Lisbon and Columbus have been top 2 in that.
Yeah, and I think it's just Maquoketa Valley ends up coming in usually in the postseason. I think it's knocked them out knocked at least Columbus out. I think back-to-back years. I think.
Guess here's some news. Did you know that the Iowa Preps, whatever their YouTube channel that probably gets like half of our ratings. Now it gets like 3 times as much. They did a ranking show to start their season off, and they did top 15. Well, we only at the Gazette we ranked top 10.
Yeah,
Pekin was ranked like 13 in their preseason, so people are ready for Pekin.
I mean, they have like their whole team back.
They do, and yeah, you just saw last year they're starting to sneak up a little bit.
Yep,
and it's been Columbus and Lisbon. I think this is basically the 4th year of this district.
Basically, I think it's just that Maquoketa Valley always ended up playing like Columbus in the postseason, and I think
that
back-to-back seasons, I think they beat them, like knocked them out, like in a couple close games. So that's what I'm thinking of, or maybe it was even last year. But
Pekin, by the way, scrimmaging at Bracewell Stadium in Burlington.
Really?
Against either Burlington, West Burlington, or Wilton on Varsity Bound. They just have the 4 of them all together, so they're playing somebody. Pekin, last year they won their last 3 regular season games, Hunter, by a combined score of quick math, 161-6.
Wow.
And then they took on Linville Sully, a good team, lost, great team. They did lose to Columbus last year. That's of the games that I'm excited for. Columbus at Pekin.
That'd be a good game.
Should be a fun one. That's week
Columbus
4.
is one of those teams that has lost some pretty big pieces.
Yeah, the last 2 years.
Yeah, but still, Caden Amagon being probably the biggest, and Russell Coyle is just a force on the line there. But
I believe that was
they still got some great players returning, and Riley Kalberg and Tyson Kalberg.
They still have Trevor Phillips coming back.
Trevor Phillips, quarterback too. So they should still be pretty good.
Yeah, that game, and I don't want to say what their records will be. I think Columbus does play Lisbon, Mediapolis.
Another good team that we're going to probably have, Mid Prairie.
Mid Prairie's got Hunter Ehrenfeld back. They got Brady Weber back.
Yep.
They've got Caden Koss back.
Yep.
They're going to be.
I think they'll be pretty good too.
Stacked. They were not in the preseason rankings on that video. I looked for them as well.
They were a
playoff team last year. People remember that they played Northeast last year. I think they've beaten Northeast now 3 years in a row in the playoffs, and they beat them by like 50. And I also caught a shanked punt last year at that game. That was the best stat, probably best moment. Actually, there was one of their kids on the sideline caught one, and then like the next punt I caught.
Don't you feel so cool? You're like, yeah.
I did feel cool. I actually felt cool enough to look up the video, and you don't see me.
You don't see you catching it, huh?
No.
That's a bummer.
Let's see. Who else do we got that we're particularly excited about?
First week of the season, it's always excited to watch Mount Pleasant and Fairfield go at it.
Yes. The war on 34.
Fairfield's had Mount Pleasant's number the last couple of years.
Yes, they have. In that rivalry, I think Mount Pleasant had won 5 in a row before the Max Wheaton, Tate Allen class was juniors. In Mount Pleasant, I remember them winning that. Now,
I think it's going to be a lot closer this time around. I feel like Fairfield lost a little bit more out of everybody between Mount Pleasant and Washington and Fairfield. Fairfield definitely lost the most, I think. And Mount Pleasant kind of has the younger kids kind of are going to be, just better than last year, I think. And then, so I think that'll actually be a really good game.
Mount Pleasant lost a ridiculously low amount of seniors from last year. In football, high school football, usually you have a lot of seniors. They have a lot of guys. They have 3 players back that started games for them at quarterback.
Yeah.
How many teams can say that? Like nobody. I'll tell you what, last year's game, which was in Mount Pleasant this year, will be in Fairfield.
38-14.
Yep, and it was a pretty close game. It was 21-14 at halftime. Fairfield ran away. Casey Miller had a huge game. That was his first game back from injury. Scored 3 times, ran for 236. This year, Fairfield loses both players that they had playing quarterback last year. Landon Noter started, and Sam Wheaton came back in. Yep. They're both gone. A good amount of receiving talent is gone. So how many times do you think Kaysen got the ball 25 times against Mount Pleasant in the opener last year. That was coming off of an injury.
Yep.
This year, healthy, and you're losing a lot of the passing and receiving.
Probably going to keep riding him.
New coach, but I would say he's going to get the ball like 30 times. And I bet you Peyton Walker for Mount Pleasant will also get the ball about that many times.
I agree.
I haven't heard who they've picked as starting quarterback.
And he had to play quarterback after injuries last year.
He did.
When really he's their starting running back.
He kind of played wildcat
Yeah,
quarterback,
pretty much.
and then he would just bomb it a few times. But I would guess that if you're wanting a game to go to that is going to go by quickly because they're running the ball a lot, my guess is it's going to be this one. But you know what? Then we say it on Prep Sports Plus, and they're like, we got to open up the passing game. Everyone knows they're going to run the ball.
And I'm excited to see Washington too, specifically with, they lost quite a bit on the defensive side of the ball. But, offensively, you're really excited for them because they returned the same kind of core back in, we talked to them this last week. But, starting quarterback, leading receiver, leading rusher.
Yes.
All back for them. So see what they can do. All three of our big schools are in really tough districts. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out, especially Fairfield. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you that. So Fairfield is in the same district as Williamsburg and Solon. Again, I did my preseason rankings. You know what? I'm going to bring those up actually.
I'm assuming both of those teams are in the top 5.
So what I did was for the preseason rankings, I went to all the teams that were either ranked last year, went far in the playoffs, or whatever, and I gave them basically just a mental score on how good they were and then who they had coming back. And as I was looking at Williamsburg and Solon, I was like, oh.
Yeah, dude, they had some really good senior, a really good senior class too, but they were I don't know, those schools always just produce, I feel like, football talent. So yeah, it's going to be tough going up against those two specifically in that district. And obviously in Mount Pleasant, Washington district, it's Mount Vernon and Assumption. Mount Vernon did lose a lot, but I know for a fact that they have still some really good talent.
They do,
as well as I think Assumption actually brought a lot back. I think
I could be wrong where I threw them in those rankings, but I can tell you Washington had such a backloaded schedule last year. After beating Mount Pleasant at homecoming, they played Assumption, Mount Vernon, and Fort Madison back to back. Fort Madison had a really good team last year and lost all 3 of those. But they'll go back. They're playing Oskaloosa at home the first week. They lost by 14 last year. So that has to be a game that's going to be close. We'll have somebody there, obviously. Then at Burlington, who they beat last year, but Burlington really improved. And against Fairfield, Washington versus Fairfield. That is that might be the game I'm most excited for because that was probably the most fun game last year. Just the battle. Washington had beaten Fairfield since I was in high school leading up to last year. And then Fairfield finally got him. Now it returns back to Washington the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's probably been the best game I've covered the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Fairfield beat him 23-20 last year. Washington had this huge comeback 2 years ago to beat them by 7. So that is week 3. The first 4 weeks or so, we're going to have a lot of our teams playing our teams.
It's going to be, it always turns out really, it's really a fun week of football, especially when you get the rivalries going. Obviously there's a lot of hype around Keokuk because of
Mr. McNutt.
Yeah, Marvin McNutt being there. So, Fort Madison's going to be, they're always pretty stout. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun season, I think.
Yeah,
and also
Cardinal and Pekin playing first week too. Yeah, they do actually. I didn't want to. I was going to just let the lie sit.
You should just jumped in.
I'll tell you what. No, when you said that, my brain said, I looked at this roster yesterday, they lose everybody. But I was like, no, not everybody did that. No one's going to fact check them. I'm just going to let it go. Well, I mean, how are we supposed to know about Assumption? I didn't know until I looked yesterday. So I just remember them being good. But I mean, their Assumption, so they'll have plenty. We'll have a full-on preview next week. Next week's basically just going to be going through all these games and talking in more detail. But we have other sports to cover.
Yes, we do.
Today on Prep Sports Plus, which I believe is coming out Thursday. If you see me in this shirt last Tuesday, 2 days ago, Laundry Day is Wednesday. So definitely we're not videotaping this on Tuesday or anything like that. But we're going to come back. We're going to talk about cross country and volleyball. And then we're going to talk, at the end of the show today, we're going to revisit our Olympic predictions. The last Olympic top for 4 years, 2 years, if you count the winter. So we will be back soon.
Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouth-watering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
Bring the kids and share the memories at the 2024 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Steam engines, antique cars and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Great food from the North Village or the Log Village. Plus, learn how to square dance over at the dance bar. This is the place where memories are made. Make plans now to enjoy the history of the past at the 2024 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 29th through September 2nd in Mount Pleasant. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Welcome back, everyone. Prep Sports Plus, powered by Fairway Food Stores, as well as all of the ads, the commercials, the little banner ads down there. Hunter, these businesses that advertise with us, are they new to this show?
No, they're not.
Most of them are not.
Most of
I'll tell you what, back when we were just a rinky-dink operation,
we were just starting out.
Two bozos sitting there in glasses in Washington, Iowa with computers. And wait a minute.
We're in the same place.
We immediately they started pouring in, the Caperados were one of our first ones. Wagon Wheel Bar and Grill. And they've stuck with us. So stick with them and tell them that they're the best, because they are. And we're glad that we're going to get a big ratings boost from football season being here. Get more eyes on these commercials downstairs, because they don't dump us during the non-football season. No. It's not like they're like, oh, I don't think people are going to be watching when it's not football. No.
They're watching.
They're watching. And Home Grill Real Estate's been right there for like 2 years now. So I love having that TV so I can see the ads.
Fiber Internet TV.
Fiber.
ACTC.
That's right. Fiber
Powered
Internet. Powered by. Let me tell you something. Not about Remax affiliates, because that would just be literally just talking about our ads. But Hunter and I had a fun day the other day. Hunter,
we did have a fun day.
We took a little trip to Washington, just like we did just a second ago.
Yep.
But why were we here a couple days ago? Tell me about it.
Well, because Washington, for the first time, held a little press conference to kind of kick off the fall season. We personally, along with Casey, I got to interview players from football, volleyball, and both cross-country teams to kind of ask them about the season, what the expectations were, Yeah.
Shout
kind
out.
of a cool little thing that they set up over there.
Shout out to athletic director Nathan Miller for setting it up. There was a real press conference. It had a table like this.
Yep.
We gathered around. And I'll tell you what. In general, Washington fall sports have been very good lately.
Yep.
And they have risen in a couple of sports, volleyball and cross country. This volleyball, let's talk a little bit volleyball, Hunter.
Let's get it.
Washington has never won the Southeast Conference in volleyball.
Missed her by one game last year.
Missed it by one game last year. If we were betting men, the betting men out there, you can't gamble on high school sports.
Right.
I'd say the odds-on favorite would be the Washington Demons.
For sure.
We talked to Ella Greiner, Leighton Messner, and Lauren Hendrickson.
Yep.
3 big returners. They are athletically going to be better than everyone, pretty
Yep.
much. Just as far as
They
they
return
got the
more than
leapers.
anybody else.
They return more than anybody else. Mount Pleasant was a little lower on the totem pole of the SEC last year. They also return a lot, so I don't want to say that they don't. Fairfield loses. Fairfield won the conference championship last year in volleyball. Did lose a good amount of talent.
But looking at this, it's, who we talked to, Leighton Messenger, leader
Yep.
in kills, Ella Greiner, who we also talked to right behind her. Lauren Hendrickson was the leading setter and assister last year. And then all 3 of them, Greiner and Messenger are right up there, top 2 in dig. So
Yep.
and that's not even counting everybody else that returns as well. But just looking at the top of the stat lines there, and comparing to everybody else, I said, Burlington will be pretty good again.
Yep.
But everybody else, Mount Pleasant brings back a lot as well. But I think you'd have to kind of say that Washington is the favorite, with just who they return and things like that. So
last year was the first year in a while where there was like a remarkable parity in SEC volleyball for a while, where you literally had no idea who was going to win. A couple years before that, you went to the tournament, you're like, literally, there's 6 teams in this conference. Nobody is good enough to run away with it, and nobody's bad enough to be counted out. So anybody could finish anywhere. Mount Pleasant had won it a couple times in a row.
Yep.
Fairfield then watch it,
yep.
and has now won it a couple times in a row. They beat Washington in the conference championship last year. But last year was the first time in a while where we really had 2 teams that were above the rest.
Yep.
Because Fairfield and Washington showed that they were a step ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Fairfield went into the tournament as the 1 seed. Did Fairfield beat Washington in the regular season, or Washington beat Fairfield in the regular
I
season?
think Fairfield beat Washington.
And I think they beat them in a close one, and then swept Washington in Washington for the last day of
Yeah,
the.
I think because Washington had 3 conference losses, and I think I was at 1. I think 1 was Burlington, and the other 2 were Fairfield. I think.
Yes, I think that's correct.
I'm remembering that.
And so we don't make picks on this show, obviously, since we cover half of the conference. But we can tell you, if you want a little primer in the SEC, Trojans, 2-time defending champion, they lost a good amount.
Yeah.
They still have Lily Bergeron, who just
kills.
Yep.
Killer.
And she's one of their best defenders last year. I'm sure Faith Jones will step in and maybe
Probably take over her sister's spot.
Take over Maddie's spot. Maddie Jones was one of the best setters we've seen in the conference in quite a while, and
633 assists.
at least was she our All Union Player of the Year last year. So returning kills leaders, I'll just tell you right now. SEC returning kills leader is Leighton Messner, Washington.
Yep.
343. Number 2, Annalise Buxton from Burlington, who finished just 6 behind her.
Yep.
The 3rd spot in that top 5 last year, graduated senior, McKenna Allgivers from Keokuk. Bergeron is number 4 last year, so she's the 3rd returner, 219. And Ella Greiner, number 5 with 187. So that's 4 out of the top 5 coming back. So in that sense, you see that at least the top killers are all back this year.
Yeah, and the good news for Mount Pleasant is relatively they return quite a bit as well too.
They do.
Looking at their kind of top 5 for kills. There's only 1 senior in that group. That was Emma Starr, and she was number 2. Maya Starr led, and you got Alex Scott, Addison Clark, Zoe Atkinson coming back as well, and then just a lot of sophomores after that. Well, now juniors, I guess. After that, McKinley White, Abby Carthy will probably be in their main setter.
Yep.
She was the.
She's the 5th leading returner in the SEC.
Yeah, she finished with 420 assists last year. So, don't count Mount Pleasant out as well, because they had some young talent coming up that is pretty good. And then, So, they return. Basically, my point is they return a lot.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I was at day 2 of the SEC tournament. Now, remember, volleyball in the SEC, you play the regular season out. But whatever happens in the tournament is you're not just the tournament champions. Like Fairfield won the tournament, you're the champions. Mount Pleasant came in the 6th seed in the tournament last year, and they got it was Fairfield, Washington, Mount Pleasant. So they didn't start really winning those games until right at the very end.
Yep.
And a lot of that, and Addison Clark was hurt at the end of last year.
Yep.
So they have, a lot of talent.
They definitely have the
coming back.
talent to compete with Washington and Fairfield.
And they weren't that far. It's not like they were getting blown out by the other teams even
And they
leading
had a
up
new
to
coach.
that. Yep.
And they
yep.
had a new coach, and I think they kind of got it figured out in
They
the
did.
season.
They did. They would definitely be a team that they could beat. One of the, well, I don't know. After Washington, I don't know. It's kind of a jumble a little bit below that, so anybody can beat anybody. And I don't think that, I don't know if Washington's going to go undefeated this year. I think all of those teams have a shot at them. So Abby Carthy's our leading setter coming back for our three schools.
Yep.
We talked about Jones. Abby Carthy, the fourth leading setter, coming back at 420. Setters from Fort Madison, Keokuk, Burlington, all back this year. And then defensively, three of the top five, including Fairfield, Savannah, Hollander, lost to graduation. The two best diggers coming back, both for Burlington. So doing the math there, Burlington's probably going to be the team that is expected to be on Washington Seals this year.
I'd say that's what I was going to say. Outside of our area, the 3 week cover, I'd say Burlington's probably one of the biggest threats to our teams winning, the conference title.
Who do you think our best small school team is? We'll say it on three.
Wait,
See if we got the same one. Think about it. Small school.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Mid-Prairie.
Yeah. They made the sub-state final last year. You were there, right? Last 2 years. You were
Lost
there
to
for the sub-state final last year, right?
Lost to Assumption in the year before that. They were really good. And then lost to Centerpoint Urbana in a 5-setter. That was a wild game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, and let me tell you what. They have a lot coming back. Wouldn't they be playing in Washington if the world is right? Because
they did play Washington first game of the season last year.
They played Washington at home last season.
That'd be a great game.
First game of the season. I should have looked this up, but I'm almost positive that Washington and Mid-Prairie will be meeting at Washington High School on... Oh, it's bumped back a little bit. It's on the September 9th, so it's not before the conference season starts.
Yep.
Washington has to go to Fort Madison. A lot of our volleyball teams, by the way, are big schools. Washington, Mount Pleasant, and Fairfield are all at the Grinnell tournament on August 31st, so they actually might play each other before they actually play each other in conference play. Other small schools we're excited about. Let's see, Van Buren County's always got something cooking.
Yep.
Cardinal loses a good amount.
Cardinal does, yep.
Beacon, Waco.
New London New London should be okay.
Yeah. Everyone's kind of in that middle range, right?
Yeah,
Mid-Prairie is really the only team where there's going to be legitimate hype coming.
Yeah, with the specifically the Southeast Iowa Super Conference, it's usually always stacked because New London had their run for a number of years, and then then Holy Trinity's been good for like 10 years, and then West Burlington's really good.
Yep.
And
Mediapolis.
Then, Notre Dame won back-to-back state titles a couple years ago, and Mediapolis is good. Yeah. So the Southeast Iowa Super Conference, it's a tough road down there. To be honest with you, there was a point in time I think that like 4 of those teams were ranked. We're all ranked and all in the same conference, and it's like.
Yes, I remember 4 teams being in the top 15. I remember that they were so good that they had to split them in 3 different regions.
Yeah, it's tough because like Waco and Winfield were like, they would just go at it too, and they lost. Both of those teams lost a lot too.
Yeah, recently Waco and Winfield had run the North, and then last year the Super Conference North, which is our most populous conference. Last year, it was between Wapello and Winfield Mount Union. Wapello beat WMU. I think you wanted at that game.
I was at the game.
Amazing how our brains remember all this. Wapello won last year, was undefeated. WMU second, Highland third. So here's all our teams. WMU second, Highland third, Waco fourth, Columbus fifth, Hillcrest Academy sixth, Pekin seventh. So all 6 of our North teams were chasing Wapello.
And honestly, I feel like this year, at least on the south side for New London and Van Buren County, I think there's like a lot of talent that's going to be gone. So it's going to be a lot of new faces, I think.
Yeah, we might not have, because Holy Trinity and Notre Dame have been like championship
And Holy Trinity
contenders.
is going to be good once again. I mean, they lose a lot too, but they still, I don't know. They just like reload every year.
Yeah. You know what?
They're
I should have
always
done more
reloading.
research on this, but when's that Waco tournament? Because I can guarantee you that that the Waco tournament's going to kick things off for most of our teams, as it does every single year.
Yes,
and
it is
the Waco
5th.
volleyball tournament.
September 5th.
September 5th. Oh my gosh, it's actually a little further than I thought. I thought it was going to be like early next week.
Oh, look at that. New London. I'm on New London.
No, wait. August 26th. August 26th. August 26th. Waco tournament at Waco High School.
That's weird. Because
that's on a Monday,
on
right?
September 5th, it says New London's playing Fairfield at Waco. It plays Waco at Waco and Cardinal.
Oh, does Waco have 2 tournaments this year to start things off?
I'm curious.
So it looks like Centerville, Van Buren County, Pekin all going to be at Waco to start this year.
Oh, yeah, there's the Waco tournament 26. But yeah, see, then they play again, but it doesn't say tournament, so I don't know. It's got to be something.
Yeah, but it says Waco a bunch of times. Looks like we got pretty much everyone playing at Waco. We had 3. There were some scrimmages at Waco last night. So Waco just really holds the key to fall sports as far as football and volleyball because they're starting up.
Yep.
Quick cross country.
Yep.
Most exciting thing about cross country this year for
We've
you?
got. Looking forward
I've
to
got
the
one.
Washington girls making it to state this year.
Yes, I think that they're going to be
Last
one of the
season,
favorites.
like I mentioned, they missed state as a team by 2 points. Had Iris Dahl go, back-to-back seasons. She's been great. Missed state by 2 points as a team in the qualifier. Looking forward to them making it.
One of my favorite parts from last year was I think Iris got 5th in the Class 3A state meet, and she qualified like 4th. And she had races before that where she hadn't been as fast as she was the previous year. And then in the interview afterwards, she's like, my main focus is I just want to be able to run this fast in the other meets too. Like basically just acknowledge that she didn't run like she wanted to. So she was
So cold that day too.
Yeah, she'll be one of the favorites, and Avery Rump from Fort Madison will be the conference this year.
I'm really excited
will be
for-
reflective of
yeah.
the 3A races where there's
I'm really
championship
excited for
contenders.
the Fort Madison Washington rivalry on both sides
Yep.
in cross country.
Yep.
Because both of those teams on the boys and girls side is really close.
We asked the cross country stars of Washington who they expected to be the ones challenging them for the conference championship, and both of them said Fort Madison. Of course, Washington has won conference 3 years in a row in both boys and girls.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. But big returners back on the girls' side. And then on the boys' side, there's a little bit of a vacuum for first place. Micah Reese for Washington graduated. He's won the last 100 million SEC races. And
Tyler Alderton's back. He was kind
Tyler
of he
Alderton's
was
back.
like the number 2 last
he
year.
was. Andrew Reese was right behind
And
him.
he came on strong too.
Jude Dykstra from Mount Pleasant was right there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So I think that the boys' conference championship for the SEC
I think it's going to be good.
Good. And then small schools, Mid
Prairie
Prairie.
is the notable. See, we're on the same page.
We've got Swartz and Truber coming back to try and defend his
Obviously.
title in Class 2A boys.
Long time great. Daniel Hostetler's gone.
That's true. Another Hostetler coming in. I'll tell you that we do middle school cross country meets. We don't. We cover
They're
high
there,
school.
they're there, so-
but they're there at the same time for cross country, so it's not like the other sports. And every meet that Mid Prairie was at last year, they had like the entire Mid Prairie team came in and then turned around to watch every single other runner. So
I know.
they're going to be awesome this year as usual. Just replay last year's preview show for that one.
Yep.
But again, we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. We need to go to our second commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to revisit our 2024 Olympic predictions. Come back.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, introducing Hy-Vee Perks, your ticket to exclusive savings and rewards. Access exclusive perks, prices, earn gas discounts, and unlock special deals. All this for free. Join Hy-Vee Perks today and start saving.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
I am Melissa Westfall with Homegirl Realty. Heather and Charlotte and I have worked together for many years, and we have always had a vision to have a business together.
I'm Charlotte Howard, and the good news is we bring a very high level of experience. We have a combined 80 plus years of experience in this real estate marketplace.
I'm Heather Merrick, and Homegirl Realty brings a lot of things to the table.
We have phenomenal communication with our clients, buyers, and sellers to make sure things are going smoothly and you don't have anything to worry about.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
We're going to have problems this year. We're doing this show at about 10 a.m. Hunter, we're back, by the way. Hunter, or the Fairway Food Stores commercial right there, that fruit basket. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just thinking about food.
I'm hungry myself.
Prep Sports Plus C Block. And we have a little bit of, we kind of got to eat a little bit of crow, kind of. If you guys have been paying attention this summer, which you should have, I mean, there's no reason for you to stop watching this in the summer just because there's no high school sports going on. You'd have known that we did a Olympic preview with our producer and boss, the guy who can fire us if he wants to, Matt Bryant, who had the only semi-correct prediction, I believe, of our threes.
Wrestling it.
We had, I'll speak for him because he's gone. He said that Spencer Lee would medal in wrestling, which he did.
Silver.
Kind of an easy prediction.
Silver.
Silver, I was upset about that. I was also upset I don't have Peacock, so I had to watch it on replay, so I knew what happened.
That's tough.
Hunter, what was your prediction? Do you remember? I remember.
That the U.S. women would get upset in the semifinal soccer.
Yes, you said they wouldn't make the gold medal game.
Or
you basically said they weren't going to win.
Gold.
They heard that. I actually saw they printed out that quote.
I'm glad
it's a video show.
I'm glad they used it as fuel.
And they put it in their locker room. They actually had your face on like a little dartboard. They would play darts.
I'm glad they used it as fuel because if they wouldn't have won, we would have had one less medal than China.
That's right, and we would have been
gold,
not
gold
Olympic.
Medal, my bad. We won the total medal race by like 50, but
yeah, but it's like I don't know.
It's gold. That's how they determine the winner. Gold.
Yeah, it's like gold, and then everything else is a tiebreaker. So I guess congratulations to Team USA. Congratulations to all of us. The three of us are all American. So good work winning another Olympics. Haven't lost one since 2008.
Yep.
I had a particularly stupid prediction. So before the show last time around, I was looking up the odds for the 3-on-3 basketball tournament.
This was the best one.
And I noticed that even though Team USA didn't have their best 3-on-3 basketball players, they had like Jimmer Fredette and then a bunch of dudes with two first names, like Tyler,
dude. You know what's
Bob sad? And Jim. Yes,
3-on-3. They could have just grabbed 3 all-stars that didn't make the Olympic team.
They could. You're actually allowed. You could play both.
They could have had Jalen Brunson out there. Or something. Could have. I mean,
so I said. I think I said that they were going to feel disrespected because the USA was the silver medal favorite, not the gold medal favorite. In the game of basketball, Serbia was number 1. I said they would disrespect. That they were disrespected, and I said that 3-on-3 team, Jimmer's going to see it. He's going to feel the disrespect, and those guys are going to surprise us. And guess what? They did surprise us with just how disappointing they are.
Yeah, as Jimmer got injured.
They didn't even... Yeah, people keep saying Jimmer got injured, but I was watching them with Jimmer. I love Jimmer. Mormon Megalodon, but they got...
That's great.
They got destroyed.
Yeah,
embarrassed, humiliated.
Yeah, it was bad.
And they didn't medal. So I was wrong. I apologize for anyone who took my advice on that, who got up early in the morning to watch those games. It was horrible. Hey, and then, can I just say
US
something?
Women got bronze.
I was just about to say, can I say something controversial? Yep. U.S. women were the betting favorites. They won bronze, and then they celebrated. They were biting the medals and stuff. No.
You only bite it if you got gold.
That's right. You're a basketball team in the United States of America. That could have costed us the Olympics. They're sitting there like, oh, got the bronze. No. So that was pretty upsetting. Hunter, what was your favorite part of the Olympics? Peter, you can jump in on this too if you want.
I've got a lot of great moments as I was talking to you about it, but I'm going to say when in track and field, 1500, I can't remember Kerr's first name, but he's from Great Britain. Him and Ingebrigtsen from Norway are the favorites.
Yes.
And like the whole race was, talking about them, like who was going to overcome who, because those two hate each other. They always talk crap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't.
I didn't know that.
At all. And
Josh Kerr, by the way.
USA's Cole Hawker comes out of nowhere as those two are battling for the top spot and takes gold in the final 20 meters. It was awesome.
Just like we did at World War II, took gold. Came out of nowhere. Peter, you watch so much of the Olympics?
I did watch a little Olympics. This one's a very basic choice, but my favorite's probably when Steph Curry just absolutely embarrasses Team France.
Love that in their own home country.
I almost got a noise complaint for that too. I saw that.
Really?
Saw that game live. That was insane.
How old are you, Peter?
I'm 23.
23. So in 2004, how old would Peter have been? When were you born? 2001. So when you were 3 years old, the United States was embarrassed on an international stage when Argentina knocked us out of the Athens Olympics. And I remember them sitting there with their bronze medals, and at the Athens Olympics, you had the little the Greek hats and stuff. And I still remember that as a child. It crushed me. And so I was excited that now it's 2008, 2012, 2006. It was 5 times in a row now. We're back on top of the world. They almost blew it. Steph Kerr, love him.
Yeah, if we didn't have
Steph Curry. I was thinking about Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
Because I was complaining earlier about how Steve Kerr's lucky that Steph Curry saved his butt.
Because I remember as a kid, they had the Redeem team, and I was like, wow, redeeming what?
Yeah.
But I was 3 years old, and I wasn't watching the Olympics, so I had no clue.
That was China, and I stayed up all night long to watch because I wanted to watch that live. The Redeem team was awesome.
Yeah.
They killed everyone. And I remember when they played Argentina and just they beat them by 30 points.
It's like LeBron and
Kobe, Dwayne Wade.
Dude, that team was insane. That's when Kobe said, I'm going to run straight through Pau Gasol's chest. And
that documentary is great. There's a little mini doc.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I highly suggest it to anyone watching.
Coach K became the coach. Basically, they were like, we got to have
we need somebody
real man
dog
in here.
Mentality,
yeah, we gotta have a dog in here. Playing like a bunch of puppy. Who was that football coach that said that? He's like, I don't want a bunch of kitties. I want dogs. I don't remember who that was.
Sounds like something that Orgeron would say.
Yeah, it does, but it wasn't him.
It wasn't him. Yeah.
Yes, I loved that too. We were down 15 against Serbia.
Oh yeah,
almost went to the bronze medal game.
Yeah, Jokic was giving us that work.
Yeah, Jokic is way. Him and Bogdan. Bogdan was...
Dude, he's good, dude, man. He was...
I'll tell you what. I knew this from being younger because not only did we lose to Argentina, but Serbia beat us in America in Indianapolis back when it was Yugoslavia.
Yep.
In 2002. By the way, speaking of documentaries, you ever watch Once Brothers? 30 for 30 on ESPN. It's about the Yugoslav wars and how Croatia and Serbia couldn't play basketball together anymore. They were going to be really good. Actually, if Yugoslavia was playing right now, it would be Jokic, Luka, Bogdan, anybody from Croatia that's particularly
insane.
good. They would be stacked. But anyway, that's a great one too. But they beat us, and I'll tell you what, people from Serbia do not like American basketball. No. If you look at those YouTube comments, they're brutal. And then Serbia beat us at the World Cup a few years ago, I think. And they go hard. They live for dancing on our grave in men's basketball. So I was glad we beat Serbia. I like Jokic. It's just too bad that he has to be on the team that I'm like, we got to beat these guys.
Yep.
And then, beat France in their own home.
Women did too.
Women did too. Women
nearly went to
lost.
OT if that girl wouldn't have stepped over the line.
That's right. Despite,
that was a crazy shot. That's the game that time expired.
I'll tell you what.
Oh my goodness.
I think we talked last show, about how I promised not to cheer against the U.S. women because they snubbed Caitlin Clark, disrespected her. Their coach clearly doesn't like her. And by proxy, I don't think she likes Iowa. And their coach lives in Minnesota. And what do they say in Minnesota? They say, who hates Iowa? We hate Iowa.
Yeah.
So they're not hiding it. And so I promised not to rip on the team. And I definitely was not secretly cheering for France to come back and win that game. But Yeah, I was watching it on the way to church.
They had the weight of the weight of the world on their shoulders too, because if they wouldn't have won, China would have had more gold medals.
That's right. And you know what? I saw a tweet that said that if they get the silver, if they lose to France, that Caitlin Clark fans, Iowa fans, are going to be unbearable about it.
Oh yeah,
nauseating. What's the word they say when you like insufferable?
Yeah,
so they'd be insufferable. And that was from a Caitlin Clark fan.
It's actually
I liked it and retweeted
it's
it.
looking
It was
pretty good that Caitlin Clark didn't play though, because she's balling out here to start the WNBA season again.
She is, but you know what? I actually did something.
What'd you do?
I went out after the U.S. women won that gold medal, totally deserved. Even though Caitlin Clark wasn't playing, even though there was a bunch of good players and they lost to the WNBA All-Star game, and I actually bought a commemorative championship 2024 U.S. women's basketball T-shirt, and I'm wearing it today. You want to see it?
Sure.
No way. That was a Mickey Mouse gold medal. It doesn't count if all the best players aren't playing. They got Russia out of there. They knew they couldn't beat Caitlin Clark, or they couldn't beat Russia without Caitlin Clark. They lost to the All-Star team. I consider a big asterisk by that gold medal. I don't consider that. And I was cheering against USA. I was actually cheering for France so hard. We were on the way to church, and something bad happened for France, and I threw my phone, and my wife said to me, "You're not allowed to watch the game in church if you're acting like that."
If you're acting like that.
So yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, I'm still obviously pretty hurt about that. And let me tell you what, watching the WNBA, watching the Fever game, I had the break did not deter my animosity towards the other teams and players at all. WNBA still on top.
I knew it.
I was like, yeah, maybe the break, I don't care as much. No.
It's kind of it's kind of a big deal that Russia's not in too, because Russia would be one of the favorites too for top of the list for.
Yeah.
medals.
I mean, I understand the whole political blah blah. We don't talk about politics on here, but Russia is like USA, Russia, USA, Russia. We didn't have our rival this year.
What was the other country that was in? It was like Belarus or something.
Belarus. Yeah, Belarus. I'm on a farm in Belarus. I had a great friend in college from Belarus. Good hockey.
Belarus.
They could better make sure they're not out for hockey, because they are a pretty good hockey team. Could you imagine if Russia's not in the hockey tournament when they get the NHL players back? That will be Mickey Mouse. Sorry, Canada. That does not count if Russia's not in. So hopefully everyone plays next time around.
Sorry, Canada.
Blah, blah, blah. We were wrong about our stuff. Next week, we will bring you full high school football preview.
Yes, we will.
Hunter will know everything about all of our teams, everybody that they're playing, everything about them, their daily schedules. And that's it.
Yep, that's all.
Prep Sports Plus. First one under Mr. Peter here. He's going to be our guy. And we will see you.
Yep. Next week.
Next week.